Hi, my name is Jess. I'm the creator of Process Ceramics. We are a retreat and publications sort of business exploring how the wild clay, an ancient wild clay ceramics process, can facilitate healing and personal growth. For several years, we've hosted retreats both in Austin, Texas and in Mexico. And I'm currently working on an oracle deck that I channeled during my own sort of collapse in the early part of 2025. The deck explores sort of an array of ways of reflecting on nature and earth and clay and the creative process to explore sort of the metaphors for our own human experience and how those relate. And how we can think about nature and how it can teach us about ourselves. We are part of nature, so we can learn a lot from how nature experiences things in the similar way that we experience things. So this deck was part of me channeling during this big life sort of event where I was so dysregulated. I left my professional job as a designer and went on short-term disability, and spent a lot of time just in stillness, in a liminal space, and confronting a lot of fears and doubts, insecurities, the unknown, and was able to come out of that, start to fold in activities that helped me sort of regulate my nervous system, and journaling through all of those experiences and sort of coming out, emerging, having manifested my dream, sitting here. And I want to share that with as many people as possible. It felt right to create it in the Oracle deck because there are certain experiences that I think are meant for us to find at certain points in our sort of personal growth journey, our healing journey, our creative process. And Oracle decks were really powerful for me through my transformation. And so I felt very inspired to create one that really explored how the earth itself, nature, and science combined with spirituality can be explored in this really beautiful sort of rich fabric of different philosophical, spiritual, scientific concepts. So that's what the deck is. There are 5 realms: earth, water, fire, body, and spirit. And in those realms, there's a variety of cards that speak to different parts of the process. In addition to this really beautiful sort of resource that's approachable to anyone, including people who have never worked with wild clay, people who have never made ceramics, it's a more of an earth-based exploration with the wild clay process sort of as this beautiful thread through the whole thing. It's completely approachable to everybody. Another really important part to me was to make it trauma-informed. One of the diagnoses that I had during my short-term disability was PTSD, and I also have processed a lot of trauma, and I'm still in processing a lot of trauma from my life, and it was vitally important that I make the deck trauma-informed. So I partnered with a trauma therapist, and we co-created the content for these cards. So I think it's really special and unique way of tapping into your intuition, exploring your inner world, and it's really unique, I think, in a lot of ways. So I wanted to share about that with you. If you find that that deck is calling to you and that you want to explore more into wild clay, I also will be offering the retreat guidebook, where we focus more on the actual process, this ancient ceramic process where we gather, cleanse, build, create, and pit fire. And the more sort of philosophical life coaching sort of journaling exercises that are deeply exploring our inner world and our personal growth and reconnecting with our purpose and our passion and who we truly are as authentic people in the world, our values, what our vision for our life is, and how we can work toward that. And that's sort of more of the retreat guidebook. And then also I have a technical wild clay guidebook that's really specific about the technical process of working with wild clay. I'll be offering both of those as supplementary materials to support everyone who wants to really dive into this process. And then we'll also continue to offer retreats where the power is in the community of creating alongside one another and holding space for one another and accepted into community, which is something that I think a lot of us are vitally missing right now. And there's a yearning for connection and community that I think is really important, and I'm still going to be offering that as part of our service offering too. And if that's something you're interested in, we'd love to have you. So I just wanted to share a little bit about all the sort of things that we're launching and that we're offering this year, and where the sort of inspiration came from, and a little bit about the different sort of materials that we're offering and what you can expect from them.